Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 16 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a new spooky Halloween themed paper craft project to make with your Cricut every day for 20 days. Now look at the attitude of this little skeleton sitting there on my craft table like he doesn't have a care in the world. Well, this skeleton is huge, by the way, absolutely massive, and he's hiding a little secret because this isn't the only pose he can do. Oh no, this is a fully movable skeleton that you can hang in your window or just, play with however you want to. Give him to your kids to have fun with. Or I've been having fun trying to make him walk around my craft room too. So all of the little joints are put together with split pins, which means it's completely movable. See, I can get him doing a little bit of yoga with his legs in the lotus position or whatever you want him to do. And there's a space in the top for you to hang him up. This is really easy to make, it's quick to cut, and it's sure to make an impact in your decor this Halloween season. Let's find out where to get the file and how to make him. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/HCC24. After registering, you'll get an email which contains a link to the schedule page for the countdown. Visit the schedule page to find and download today's files. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC24 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Halloween Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. The download comes in a zip folder. You will need to unzip this before uploading the SVG files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to upload the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. If you're not sure how to do that, visit the schedule page for this Halloween Craft Countdown, and within there, look for the Foundation Learning section near the top of the page. Within there's a link to a separate tutorial and video on how to upload SVGs into Cricut Design Space. Once it's in and inserted onto your project, you should see that it loads in at about 12 by 27 inches. The numbers might be slightly off, but it should be there or thereabouts. If I scroll down, you can see all the parts that make up this skeleton. Now, don't worry that is a large size. In fact, it's larger than the Cricut can actually cut, but it's just a trick because actually it's made up of lots of different sections. So we'll be cutting little parts and then connecting them together with our brads or split pins. To see all the sections, click the arrow in the layers panel next to the design, and then that separates them all out for you so you can see how it's all broken up. This design loads in ready to cut. There's nothing you need to do, but you might want to make it either larger or smaller. To do that, click the design to select it, and then make sure the padlock icon above the width and the height box is closed. If yours is open, then click that padlock to close it. And then you can change either the width or the height, press enter on your keyboard, and the other measurement will change in proportion. One thing to bear in mind is that resizing it does change the size of the holes that we'll be putting the split pins through. If you make it smaller, that's not really a problem unless you make it really, really tiny, in which case your pins might not be able to get through the holes anymore. But if you're just resizing it, up to probably around 7 inches plus in width, you should still be able to get your split pins through. You just might need to force them through a little bit rather than them slotting in the gaps nicely. However, one thing to watch is if you make it larger, obviously those holes are going to get bigger. So you just probably, if you make it too much bigger, would want to test cut one of the black pieces. So perhaps just that one or any one, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that the holes haven't ended up too big for your split pins to fit through. But I'm going to do mine at the size it loaded in on, which was 12 by 27. And then just go ahead and press make. I'll be cutting this from white and black cardstock, but what you could also do if you didn't want to use the white card is you could use vinyl instead, either adhesive vinyl or heat transfer vinyl. And in white that would look nice, but you might end up seeing some of the black through, and it might make your white look a little bit grey just because vinyl isn't always 100% opaque, especially when you put it on a really dark colour. However, one thing that I think would look really cool would be if you cut the white bits from glow-in-the-dark vinyl or glow-in-the-dark cardstock if that exists, but I've never actually seen that anywhere. It would be pretty cool if it does exist though. I know you can get glow-in-the-dark paint, so you could always, if you're feeling particularly crafty, cut it from white card and then paint it with glow-in-the-dark paint. That way, when the lights go out, you wouldn't see any of the black parts of the skeleton anymore. All you'd see is the glowing bone section. I think that would be really cool. You can change the paper size in the drop down here. I'm using A4, and that sheet's filled up pretty nicely. But this one, I'm just going to move things about by rotating and moving to take up a little bit less space on my cardstock. Make sure when you're moving things that nothing overlaps, otherwise it won't cut out properly. But that is looking good, and now just by rotating things and moving them upwards, it means I'll have all of this second half of the page that I can use on another craft project another day. So go ahead, get all your pieces looking as you want them to, then press continue to connect to your Cricut machine and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut out. Here are all of my pieces of the skeleton cut out, and I've already stuck most of these together, but I'll show you how to do it for a few of them. One thing I highly recommend is to lay out all your pieces in front of you and make sure you've got the right white pieces on the right black pieces before you start sticking anything, and that you've got everything the right way around. Each of the sections comes with a left and a right version. So for example, it's most obvious on the feet and the hands. You should end up with the designs, so you've got your big toes on opposite sides, and on the hands as well, they should be opposite. So we've got that little finger on the outside on both of them. The bones, it doesn't matter too much because they're fairly symmetrical anyway, but they are different sizes. You've got these ones and then these ones. So again, just make sure you've got the right sized white piece on the white side. Right. That was hard to say. Make sure you've got the right sized white piece on the right sized black piece. That was a tongue twister. All right, so I've already glued all of those together, and these are my split pins I'll be using. I got these on Amazon. It was, I think, about £6 or £7 for the whole bag, and they're little metal pins with backs to them that go out each way, so I'll be able to fold them out to connect everything together. If you don't have any of them, you could use string to tie all the pieces together as an alternative. Or I've got some older brads. I've had these longer than I even want to think about. I got these when I first started crafting when I was about 13, 14 years old, and then never really used them. And I thought I'd use them for this project, but I felt because they're all gold and silver, it stood out a bit too much and looked a bit too obvious. And that's why I ended up buying the black ones. All right, so I've got the head still left to stick and the main body piece. The head comes in two different pieces to stick on for the top and the bottom of the skull. I'm just putting these on with some craft glue. If you cut it from vinyl instead for the white parts, then you'll need to do it a little bit differently. But I'm using my favourite cardstock. I think every project should be a papercraft project. There's that one. And then got the rib cage here. Now for the fun part, getting all of this together. And I'm going to have to open this on the screen in Design Space to make sure I'm doing everything in the right order. All right, we'll start with the easiest, which is the head and the body. So get one of your split pins and then place the two bits that are going to be connected over each other so that the holes line up. And that's going to go slightly over that top bit of the... Actually, I'll do it the other way around. Let's go that way. Then it still overlaps a little bit. That's not very noticeable. I think I'll do it the other way. That way. Okay. Put this through one. And then, if I can pick it up, the other. And then open out that split pin. And pull it too. So now that's in place, but it will still move and wibble and wobble about really nicely. Okay, the smaller bones are for the arms. So let's find those 4 pieces. 2 on each side. I'm not worrying too much about which way around they go because they look pretty similar. We'll do the same thing again. I think this time I'll put the arms on top so that they can move independently in front of the body. And then open out that split pin. There's that one. And the same for this one. This is so quick to put together, but it really makes an impact. There's that one. And then last for this will be one of my hands, and that will be with the little finger facing outwards. There's one arm done. So I'm just going to quickly speed through the other arm to get that one done as well. Okay, there's the arms and the head and the body. This is so cute. All right, onto the legs. We've got the 4 bones, so 2 for each leg, and then the feet will go underneath. I'll do this in a similar way. I'll go through the top of that leg bone and then through the bottom in the hips. Open it out. There we go. And then I'll do the next one. This is getting quite big now. It's getting hard to keep on my crafting table. And then the foot inside. I've got the big toe facing inwards. I think that's correct. I get confused by my lefts and my rights. There's his leg. And then the same on the other side. So I'll whiz through this one again. And then he's done. Both his legs and his feet. He's so big. Let's try. I can kind of do the splits a little bit so I can try and get him all in my shot to show you. Here we go. This is arms. And then all that's left to do would be to thread some ribbon or twine or something through the top so that you can hang him up, and then he will move about all over the place. This would also be a great toy for your kids to play with. You could add some ribbon or even just have them hold it up from the top and play about with it. And yeah, he's amazing. I love him. If you wanted to, you could even double side him by cutting out a mirrored copy of all of the white pieces, and then you could stick them on the back. That way, if you've got him hung up in a window or something like that, then he would look lovely from both sides. But for now, here's my little skeleton. Oh look, he can he can sit down and pose. I'm going to zoom out a bit so you can get that full effect. That's so funny. I think I'm going to be having lots of fun with him. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make a movable cardstock skeleton for Halloween. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Halloween crafts. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 17 of the Halloween craft countdown. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Bye!